recording. Again, welcome to En Casa con la Plaza de Cultura y Artes. That's us. The museum right across the street from Olvera Street has been coming to you through Zoom, through Facebook Live, the past 7 weeks. So this is our 7th week of bringing presentations, demonstrations, conversations. And today we're going to have a performance, several performances, in fact, both live and on tape, via YouTube, of course. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you Martin Espino. And I'm going to do a little bit brief intro about him. I'm going to read it from what I have written here. This guy is so multi-talented. He's done so much over the years, bringing music, education, illumination about our indigenous music to you. Martin, his native heritage is Yaqui from Sonora, Mexico, and Tepehuano from Durango, Mexico. He's got a Bachelor of Music degree with honors in performance from Immaculate Heart College. He began his musical career in 1966. He's been teaching since 1969 with 44 years of scholarly research of indigenous Mexican music. Since 1980, he's been a pioneer of interactive performance for all ages, including conducting educational and cultural workshops. He's been an artist in residence and performances. And he's also a master instrument builder of more than 75,000 instruments made, not just for himself, but with people from ages 3 to 83 plus. His work encompasses ages as early as preschool to adults, special needs population, and recently the deaf and hard of hearing community. He considers himself a sound worker using the principles of neuroscience for beneficial well-being or healing, the creator of ancient Mexico vibration experience for deaf people. He currently performs locally, nationally, and internationally, both as a soloist and with his group, MEXIKA, Music and Dance of Ancient Mexico. He's also a master outreach teaching artist for the College of Canyons Educational Research and provides sound bath and meditation events. Please, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, let's welcome Martin Espino. Martin, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, sir. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
All right, good. Well, we're going to get right to it. You have been in this milieu of music, performance art, sharing your gifts with people throughout the local community. You're based out of Long Beach, both as a soloist and a group called MEXIKA. And if you could tell us a little bit about your start in this kind of music.
Wow. Well, when I was like about 4 or 5, I remember, no, maybe about 5 or 6, because my dad got that little box that had UHF and VHF, and you'd add that onto your television, right? And we used to get, I don't know if you remember this, but we used to get KMEX and KCET back then. And my dad would always make me sit down on Sunday, and not make me, he would say, come over here, of course I'd go to my dad, and we'd be watching Siempre en Domingo, where they would sometimes have danzantes on there. It was the Raul Velasco was the Ed Sullivan of Mexico, right? And so that we got to see some indigenous music. I don't remember, but what I do remember, my first instance of this stuff was there was this tall pole and this guy sitting way at the top playing this little tiny flute and the drum. Da, 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 da. And I remember telling my dad, Dad, can I get one of those? And he goes, yeah, one day. Didn't happen, but I remember that music really somehow touching me. Those were the voladores de Pampantla, that fly up there and they bungee on their way down. And that was my first, time in hearing that. And I never forgot that. During the whole time, I was an artist since I was the age of 3. First thing I drew was a flying saucer, my brother says. And so figure that one out. So I'm busy drawing the whole time, sculpting and doing things. I was working in clay and Play-Dohs and sculpting dinosaurs and things, trees and all kinds of stuff. And it's funny, as I watched all these old movies that my brother liked, he liked sci-fi and the dinosaur movies, they had weird soundtracks back then. Some of them were electronic. I'll be brief on it, but there's a couple of movies that really did something to me, like the fight scene in 1,000,000 Years BC where it's rocks and it's not in rhythm. And I remembered that. and then watching things like the Outer Limits where they had weird electronic sounds. And I was drawn to these sounds. So when Hendrix came around, I was drawn to the weird sounds on the guitar. It didn't sound weird to me because I've been listening to spaceships all my life, you know? And then when I heard these instruments, some people hear these and they go, oh, it's out of tune because we weren't, you know. Now a lot of you people out there are used to hearing a lot of different things because of movie soundtracks. Disney had a lot to do with that when they started doing international and doing, you know, Aladdin with Arabic instruments and things like that, Middle Eastern instruments and stuff. And so when I first heard these things like this, first thing I thought of was it's no different than the flying saucers and the feedback I heard. And so, in other words, I didn't think it was weird and I accepted it. And then when I learned it was mine, I went, whoa. And that's how it started.
All
and
right.
then in 75, earlier in 72, I started collecting all these little clay figurines and I never played them. I kept doing artwork. I was doing artwork. And then finally, like when I was about 18, I decided to go to college and I asked my teacher, what do I major in, art or music? And she said, do both. So I went to Immaculate Heart. They took me as a musician, and you know, I was already a musician since I was 11. So that's my long answer. It's a convoluted answer, but that's how I started. Yeah. But see,
Right.
the interesting point is that my hearing is really very, very open. It's hard for me to find something I can't listen to, you know?
Well, here, we're going to listen to, I'm going to share my screen here, and then
Yes,
we're going to listen to a MEXIKA live from 2012. And so here goes.
Already.
Remember when we start with YouTube videos, sometimes they start with an ad. We don't want to support any political thing, but here goes. We're going to listen to a little bit of this.
Uh-oh.
So tell us a little bit about that.
That was fun. Yeah, it was at that time. Mexica was a quartet, and now we're a trio. But because the other guy moved away, we were playing. Oh, we were playing at a little coffee house right up here at the street in Long Beach, and we found that to be a nice place to practice live, so to speak. Yeah, and from that came a CD that we have called Mexica Live at Viento y Agua 2011. But that's just us playing. We're basically playing an Aztec, or what you might better call a Mexica dance rhythm, not Mexica, Mexica dance rhythm that the dancers dance to. And then the basic thing, whatever they were doing, I don't remember right now. And then we would add on top of it, because these guys had experience playing. All those drummers are the best ones in LA. Eric Barraza, Martin Gallardo, Gabriel Castañeda, and Nazario Segura. Those are the cats, you know. No matter what you say, they're still the best. And not only the best in just playing, but they're able to improvise, which is really hard. They're able to keep time, and they're also just open-minded, you know. And so we were playing that basic danza rhythm, and on top of it, adding all the spices and the cherries on top, you know. And so the flute parts are improvised over the basic rhythm, and that's all based on study.
Sure, and these are rhythms that you learned from where?
From the danza community, you know. I mean, I learned them when I was playing for Xipitotec and Virginia Carmelo's group, and then the other guys have been doing it since they were little kids. So, you know, if somebody goes play Tezcatlipoca, you know, everybody knows what to do, you know. And we just play it. Just like the dancers just dance. They go, oh, you know, dance Águila Blanca, and they know what to do. You know, it's just really, really cool playing with them because it's endless material, you know.
Well, here we're going to share something that you did not that long ago at the Museum of Latin American Art, one of our partner museums there in Long Beach,
Yes.
with Danza Quasashitl.
Coashochi.
There you go. Thank you. I'll get it right next time. Okay, here we go. Share my screen one more time.
Órale.
And here we go.
They are very old clients of mine from way back.
That was beautiful. That's
Yeah, those really high-pitched sounds you're hearing are stone xylophones, and I made all those goodies. I had to. Yeah, the only thing that was all those instruments are mine actually, except for the big drums, you know. But yeah, it's funny. We have a whole arsenal of things.
okay. Well, let's go to that's your work with MEXIKA. Very traditional. The dancing we see a lot on our stages at La Plaza.
Yeah.
Cultura y Artes on family days that we have five times a year. Unfortunately, we've missed out this year because of the pandemic. But talking about you making your own instruments, we have a little video here, a YouTube video of your work with clay. So I'm going to bring that up, and if let's watch a little bit, then you could talk to us a little bit about it. Okay?
Okay. Watch out. Oh, that's one of the old ones.
The whistle I made. And Tlapitzali, it dried before I could put the flower on the end of it. So we'll put a flower there. It's got the mouthpiece like an old Tlapitzali. And so it's on the bottom. Okay. And then there's the four hold on reading. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's just one of the instruments that you work with.
Everywhere. Yeah, I've over the years in building instruments with all ages. I used to have this job for about 25, 26 years, Abelardo, and it was every summer, and I had to build different instruments for 2 weeks because a lot of the same students would come back. And so there's a bunch of little güerito kids in Manhattan Beach that were with me from kindergarten till they were around 13 or 14. And they all have like bamboo teponatzlis and Mayan conch shells and Hawaiian drums and bamboo flutes, and they're all over the place. It's funny. But working with the clay, I've been doing that for myself. I'm not to the place where I feel that I can develop a lesson to go out and do it with a bunch of people, because a lot of people don't have a kiln and to fire it. And working with clay is a real different thing than working with bamboo or gourd. Very, very easy to teach any of you out there to work with bamboo or gourd. Clay is another animal.
Well, you do a lot of teaching. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
It's really funny. What happened is a long time ago, I played with a friend of mine. It started with the music. And she said, come with me, and I'm going to work with some kids. And she went out there, And I remember her going, okay, kids, that. And she had a quiet voice. Okay, kids, can you come over here? And they were running over her like a dead squirrel on the road. And I remember speaking of going, all right, everybody, let's go. Come on, sit down. And they looked at me. I thought, whoa, where did that come from? And then I walked out of there thinking, they listened to me. I've never worked with kids. That was like in 82, 83 or something like that. And ever since then, I don't want to analyze it. I just go in there and they listen to me. I never have one problem. They enjoy it. I joke around. I just BS the whole time, and we're laughing and saying the right things, of course, and getting all the work done. And they walk away with the instruments that are done. And somehow, strangely enough, probably because of my art background, I could see ahead of time and prioritize how to make a lesson plan. I'm a monster at lesson plans. You know, how to get from point A to Z, and how I could look at something that I've never built and go, okay, I know how I build that. And so it was really cool. Yeah, so that's what's happened. I'm at a place where I could, you know, build all kinds of crazy things. I've built about 26 different kinds of instruments. And the last thing I was building was, there's only so many you can do. I mean, wind, percussion, and you can't do voice. And I've done some string instruments with, I did like these gourd guitars that sound like Iranian dutars and things like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I've been doing.
All right, well, let's go ahead and share the screen once more. Here goes, sharing the screen. And we'll show a little bit of what you do with children.
Look over here.
That's all hand signals.
That's pretty fascinating there.
Yeah, a lot of that's, you know, see, when we were doing that, sometimes I'll teach them the hand signals before and what to do. And on that one, I was just doing it and they were following me. You know?
It's great.
Music neurologically stimulates the brain crazy. So the second they get an instrument in their hand, adults or kids, everybody gets literally immediately high. And if somebody's guiding, they follow you like a sheep, man. You know?
All right.
It's incredible.
Well, speaking of adults, we have one here where you're working on a Mayan song, and you remind me the pronunciation Konesh.
Konesh, Paleshen.
Okay.
Shikubin, Yokolkin.
Right.
Very old song.
Here goes.
That was a lesson plan for the Long Beach City Schools, so I had Jane come and help me out.
The words are Konesh, Paleshen. Shikubin, Yokolkin. Come on. Come on, kids, the sun is coming down. That's what the words mean.
and that's just a little tiny example. So when I go to schools or do it in libraries or museums or festivals, I hand out that's nothing. I get about 10 or 15, sometimes 20 people up on stage, and we're all sharing the instruments. And gee, that's going to be difficult now, but at least I can get people to sing. You know how this whole thing has changed our world, no?
Yes, it has. Well, we have a question here from Yvonne Sandoval asking about that clay flute instrument that you were using. She's asking if it's from Peru, but you've explained that you have made them yourself. And
everything I have is Mexican. The Peruvian stuff, that's when I do Peruvian music.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, it's Mexican.
Do you also do Peruvian music?
I played Andean music for like 39 years, you know, with some really top-notch folklorists. And that was before it was known. You know, back then there was Yaqui, music of the Andes, with me and Mario Torrico, Dennis Elguero, and Luis Rodriguez from Peru, and those two Bolivian guys. And, yeah, there was just us, and who's the other one? Arco Iris, remember the jazz group?
Right.
Yeah, and those other ones were nobody else was around. We were out there doing that just by ourselves.
Well, there's a worldwide community of people that are doing indigenous music, like you say, from Peru, from Mexico, and others. And there are these celebrations where you all get together in different festivals. And we have a couple of examples of you with the World Wood Day, Roots United, back in 2017.
Yeah.
So if you could tell us a little bit about what these festivals are about.
Well, the World Wood Day, or they call it the Roots Festival, I think. World Wood Day is they're an organization that's I think they're based out of China, and they go all over the world and do this workshops and festival and music concerts, and have woodworking artists display their stuff for like a week or a week and a half in different parts of the world. So it was in Singapore a while back. It was here in Long Beach in 2017. In 2018, it was in Cambodia, which we couldn't go. Something happened, we couldn't go. 2019, we were in Vienna and Grave, Austria, and we were there for about 15 days touring and playing in old like opera houses that Schubert and Mozart and Haydn played in. That was a gas, taking our ancient Mexican culture there, you know, and doing it there, dancing in these opera houses. I mean, we weren't doing coffee houses, we were doing opera houses. Wow. And the Stubing Open Air Museum, that was insane. And basically, World Wood Festival, they have like 20, 30 woodworkers carving humongous pieces of wood. And none of us, we couldn't speak each other's languages. You know, all my friends were from Kuwait and Nepal and Mongolia, and the only thing we could say to each other was good morning and smile and hug, drink wine together, and then go out and do our thing and come back the next night and party again. It was like crazy. It was wonderful, wonderful thing. That was one of the most beautiful experiences ever. These people, we didn't speak each other's language, like I said. It was smiling and hugging and having a drink together.
All right. Well, we're going to show a little example of the 2017 World Wood Day.
Yeah, that was a gas.
There you go.
This is a demo, I think. Is it a demo?
Yes.
Yeah, they asked me to demonstrate the instruments, and they put the names of the instruments on the screen, which was really cool.
That's our classical instrument, just like there's the classical piano, the clarinet, the sitar, the cayaguen, the talking drum. In Mexico, we have the huehuet. Another one of our classical drums is a log that is hollowed on the bottom. It's called teponastli. So let me show it to you, since we don't have a whole band playing here. It's got carvings on the sides, in the front, and in the middle is a sound aperture. On the front are two keys. They sound like this. Beautiful instrument. To the Mayans, they called it tulcul.
Well, it looks like it's a lot of fun. Plus, it's very informative.
Yeah, that's what they wanted, and you know, people know that I'm there to try to give, you know, the best scholarly information. I don't give I don't give opinions. I give what I study, you know, and I have to deal with, you know, trying to make it squeeze into a couple of seconds there. Yeah, that piece was about 10 minutes long, but at the end we wound up with a looping and stacking up all the instruments, and then I was playing the flutes over an orchestra. It was cool.
Wow.
And it was a terrific outreach to other people around the world, if anything. And also, let me say one last thing about the World Wood Festival. They're very, very interested in preserving ecological areas and how to farm and how to plant trees, you know, and how to be able to use the wood, yet at the same time still restock nature.
All right. Well, we have another one that's more recent. So let me go ahead and share the screen, and we'll get a taste of this one, which I found very fascinating. That it's a big production. Here goes. Yeah, you're right about the theater. That's an incredible theater that you were playing out of.
Yeah, that was a great place to be in. Oh my God, marble stairs and oh man, we had a big party right outside there. It was great.
All right. Well, I think
My favorite part was that all the sound engineers were named Martin.
I've.
That was great.
Well, we have a question here, and I know that you talked about it earlier, but you say that you're from you're indigenous of Tepehuan. Tepehuan. What part of Mexico is that from?
Durango.
And is that
Yeah.
your roots are from there?
That's my dad, my papa's side of the family. They're from Gomez Palacio, Durango.
Okay.
And that area is was known for what they call the Tepehuanos or Tepehuan of the North. They say it different ways. Tepehuanos, Tepehuanes, Tepehuan, depende, you know.
Okay.
I use the general one.
All right. Well, what we've been seeing, and I hope you've all been enjoying it, has been Martin's more indigenous roots, showcasing the traditional instruments in a traditional setting. And now we're going to move into something that that he's been doing more recently, and you call it Electro Azteca. Could you tell
Electra Azteca.
Electra Azteca? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
What I've always been experimenting with tape cassettes back in the days, and people were saying no one's going to listen to you playing with tapes backing you up, and but I was doing things like that, and you know, and the only people that would listen to me back there were little punk galleries in the late 70s and early 80s, and so I was playing around mixing African instruments and Mexican and South American, and just having a good time. And then I kind of like put it on the shelf, right? I always experimented at home. I'm always, you know, it's like saying that somebody asked me, oh, Martin, so you're not playing your indigenous instruments anymore? I go, come on, what are you, mind reader? You know, it's like I use the same, it's like saying I eat chilies, avocados, and tomatoes, and I always will, and I always have, and always will. Now, I might try Thai food. It doesn't mean I'm suddenly leaving my stuff behind, right? But so I expand my palette, right? Like an artist would. I have red, but I have dark red and light red and brilliant red and electric red. And to me, that's what sound is, you know? Especially once you study it, it becomes a wide, deep tunnel that you never get out of, and it draws you in. And so when I started messing around with this stuff, I thought, you know, this is nice to do, but, you know, and then I started seeing it pop up in music, some electronic things and things from different music. So recently, back in the 90s, that's how long ago I started looping. I've got a loop machine back then. I thought, wow, this is really cool. Then when the technology became easier, because I was never technological, when the technology came and it was easy, what they call plug and play.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh my God, something at my level. And I got it. And so now, and then it led to the computer. So when I came in at the right time on the internet in '98, and I've been working with the computer since then. And that led to me getting into the software recording. And then all of a sudden I thought, wow, I could bring this idea that I've had for a long time back, of me mixing ancient Mexican instruments with modern influences. What inspired me was not Mexican artists, although Jorge Reyes was doing some experimentalism with didgeridoos and synthesizers with the Mexican instruments, but I really, frankly, I just didn't feel like it was good, because he was out there trying it. That's good. He opened the door, right, along with a few others, but he basically opened the door. And but I was always interested in things like drum and bass and chill and broken beats and I've always loved that stuff, house, and I started mixing it. And then I thought, this is pretty cool. Then came the inspirations. There are some musicians from India, Kush Kale and Talvin Singh, and these guys are traditionalists. And I thought, wait a minute, that's like stinking me. I play traditional, and they play traditional tabla and Indian music, and then they turn around and they stick the tabla in the middle of a drum and bass track, you know? And so I thought, that I want to do that. I want to bring that idea. So that's how Electra Azteca was born. It came back like about 3 years ago, after just sitting in the closet, you know, or being in my room. And so on my little site, I have ancient Mexico meets modern meets the hood.
Well, there you
and
go.
So I mix everything like world jazz stuff. I mix Middle Eastern music. I brought all my keyboard skills are coming back. I'm a guitar player from way back, so I play anything with strings. And so you'll hear on some of my tracks, it'll be drum and bass with a hip hop, a kick drum on the bottom, with Aztec lapizali flutes on top, with a conch shell horn, and a stringed instrument from the Bangra, you know, and I'll stick all that stuff together and just having fun with it. Yeah, so I played for the Electra Azteca, got a lot of exposure when I was doing things for Magoo, Gilbert Lujan's exhibits, an old friend of mine. And then I started realizing that, remember I was telling you, looking at his art and looking at mine, I thought, oh my God, why do I feel so comfortable doing this? And I looked at Magoo's stuff again. I thought, he's painting what I'm playing. You know, he'll show like City Hall with pyramids around it, with lowrider painted with chilies with danzantes aztecas driving it. And I thought, that's what my music is. I'm doing a hip hop beat with the clay flute, you know? And yeah, that kept me going. And then when the pandemic hit, some people knew I did that, and they started saying, can you write music for me? And I go, yeah, I'm still learning my software. So the last 9 weeks has been a crash course in Logic Pro 10, Ableton 10 Live, and yeah, all of a sudden I'm writing for movies. I got 2 movies I'm doing, and I think you're going to show the thing from the Museum of Latin American Art.
Well, first we're going to show the first time I heard Electra Azteca was at La Plaza.
Yeah.
The reception for our fantastic show about Gilbert Magoo's show. Yes, and it was quite fitting with the theme of Gilbert's art. You might see right behind me, I do have one of Magoo's pieces here.
God bless him.
And I think that's where we first met, one of Magoo's Mental Menudos. But here I'm going to share the screen.
Oh God, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, man. So here
Yes,
we're going to show
way back.
Electra Azteca.
Órale.
No, that combination of indigenous instrumentation with the electronics is just fascinating. It's
Yeah, the only thing is on my end, I don't know if all you folks could update. There's a lot of nuances are lost in the audio, but yeah, there was a lot of other things going on there. I was hearing it a little fuzzy on my end, but I hope you got the gist of it, the idea.
And if you didn't get the gist of it here, we'll be telling you where to find all of Martin's music. I will tell you right now, he's at Martin Espino Music on his YouTube channel and also on Facebook. That's Martin Espino Music, also martinespino.com, where you'll find a lot of examples of his music. So that's where I pulled a lot of this from. Again, Zoom, we appreciate Zoom and its technology of bringing our programming to you, but the audio quality sometimes isn't all there, but we do the best we can, don't we?
Yes.
All right. So we're
that's across the board, because like I was telling you earlier, and all the wonderful audiences that tuning in, is that if you watch the news, they're experiencing the same thing too. We're all suddenly thrust into an area where we have to broadcast from home, and the connection may not be great, and so we're trying to do the best we can with the audio. So thank you for listening.
All right. Well, another museum, a cultural institution. We talked about our partner, MOLA, down there in Long Beach, in your neck of the woods. They had a recent exhibit which they opened just in March, Oaxaca, California. And it was previously work that was shown during Pacific Standard Time at the downtown library, at the Central Library, which is now on display at MOLA. And here we're going to share one more time just a little bit of a guided tour with Martin's music as the musical accompaniment. Here we go.
I'm Gabriela Martinez, Director of Education at MOLA. The Museum of Latin American Art is proud to exhibit the installation of For the Pride of Your Hometown, The Way of the Elders, and In Memory of the Forgotten by Oaxacan artistic duo Tlacolulojos, Darío Canul y Cosijoesa Cernas. This installation showcases murals for visualizing language, a project organized.
All right. Well, hopefully soon we'll all be able to enjoy that exhibit. As we no doubt a lot of you heard, museums are, the LA County recently announced that museums will be allowed to start opening starting this Friday. Not all museums will be opening, but once museums have established their health protocols and so on, you'll start being able to experience Oaxaca, California, along with the exhibitions in La Plaza. But so stay tuned. That's not a major announcement. It was kind of a sneak preview of what's to come. But this partnership you have with museums and other cultural institutions is really important. These partnerships that you've made, both face-to-face, but also online. So if you could tell us a little bit about this partnership that you made during these pandemic times where we've all been self-distancing, staying at home, one that you made with somebody from a completely different country. Tell us about that, please.
Well, these things resulted from my being around for a long time. Like MOLA, I was playing at MOLA before they were MOLA, when they were Hippodrome Gallery. So they used to hire us back when I was playing all that Andean stuff and beautiful music. And so when they turned MOLA and started getting more interested in Mexican, that's what happened. So they knew me from appearing there. And then I have this long standing relationship with the Long Beach Arts Council since about that long too. So they both put their heads together and said, you know, we want modern elements, because if you look at the artwork in that thing, it's ancient or traditional with some modern street elements. There's a girl dressed in traditional Oaxacan outfit, and she's got Doc Martens on, and she's holding an iPhone. And so I thought, I'm putting hip hop, I'm putting groove, I'm putting dubstep sounds, and I'm putting the clay instruments that the Zapotecos and Mixtecos played. So there were originally on that one, there were 8 tracks of mixing all sorts of different styles. And the Arts Council and the museum, they chose 3 tracks. And but that's what happened is when the pandemic hit, I didn't get calls from people that didn't know me. I was getting calls from people that knew me from before and said, "Hey, we got an exhibit that no one can go to. Can you do the music?" And they especially wanted me to because I was a Long Beach artist, and they wanted to get so the videographers from Long Beach, and I'm over here for like 10 years. So that's how that happened. Yeah.
Right.
But see, the neat thing is that got me like 50%, maybe 30, 40, 50% sometimes more audience. So that shot it around the world because now I'm marketing around the world. And that resulted in me getting an email from somebody in Germany that said, "Why don't you apply to this festival in Mongolia?" They liked what I did, and the Mongolians invited me, and last Sunday they played Tezcatlipoca on Mongolian state TV.
Incredible. Well,
Yeah, so that's the blessing of this. The sad part of us having this in, but the good part is that it increased the audiences like crazy.
All right. Well, let's talk about your partnership with Ivan Cordeiro out of Brazil.
Well, he's an old close friend of mine, and he's always been into film. And then all of a sudden, he became accidentally famous, and so they started inviting him to all these film festivals, and now he's got some notoriety. He's very well known for shooting in Super 8. Long story short,
Okay.
So then he just says, "Hey, can you do some music for a couple of projects?" And that was several years ago. And then all of a sudden, when his notoriety shot up, he goes, "You're my composer. I need you." And so I'm writing all the music for him. I'm doing Brazilian music. I'm doing jungle and noise and voiceovers and Foley. I'm dropping bricks on the ground and recording them. And so that's what we're doing. So Yvonne and I have been putting out one video a week just to kind of advertise. We decided to band together and be a film and music production. And maybe somebody will call us. Maybe somebody will call us separate. So we're just advertising each other. So he does these 3-minute videos of things. He's got miles and miles of footage because he goes to Brazil all the time. He was there for like 7 months, traveling all over, not just the popular cities, but in the jungle and the Nordeste and all those other places. And then he gives me the footage and says, "Put the music to it."
All right. Well, let's look at one that he calls The Net.
Oh, The Net was funny. Yeah, I did it in the style of forró. Estilo Nordeste do Brasil.
That's very beautiful. It's real nice. You play the guitar in this one as well?
Yeah, I did all the guitars. Too bad you didn't play the rest of it because it really kicks in.
All right. Well,
we'd
love to play the rest of everything you have here, but we're running short on time, and we want to get a little bit of a live music. But before we do this, I'm gonna just show some of the more recent work that you've been doing, combining the music, the electronics, the visuals. That's just incredible to watch. This is something called Rainforest Blessing.
Yes.
So we're gonna open this up right now. See, I'm learning all this myself. Here goes. Here, look. We're almost there. Rainforest Blessing right there. Let's make it big.
That's a cool app, all you musicians. It's called Acapella.
Acapella. Okay. Let's see. Share the screen. Nope, wrong one.
Whoop, wrong one.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, that's a MEXIKA video.
And you're saying this is done all on your phone, on your...
Yeah, it's a little app that lets you put up to like 9 windows. And so we sat there and just put that together, and, you know, yeah, it was fun.
And I saw you guys were kind of social distancing there, but you were wearing masks.
Well, we were in my studio, so we had the windows wide open and the wind's blowing in there, and we're playing all these rain sticks and stuff, and we had the that was sage blowing, in case you wonder what the smoke was. It was sage.
All right. Well, you're keeping current, of course, with the pandemic, and also most recently, of course, the tragedy of George Floyd and the reaction, the country, the nation, the world's reaction to that.
Yes, sir.
And so you worked with you're there in Long Beach, working with an artist, a video maker, in creating a soundtrack for what's going on in the streets. So we're going to go ahead and show that. It's called Love Up Long Beach, with creativity transforming a wounded community. So we're going to share the screen here, and
that's by Richard Harvey. He's a healing artist, is the best way to describe him. He does lots of workshops in healing and you know, making yourself new again. So he thought that was a good thing to take all these pictures of Long Beach. And good right, because they're taking a lot of these artwork down and storing them.
Okay, here goes. We'll hear a little bit of this and watch.
Hopefully you can hear it good. There you go.
Yeah, so that is the unfortunate tragedy has brought awareness, it's brought unity, it's brought us having to think deeply within ourselves, within our communities, and it's also brought about some beautiful art and poetry, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more to come. So with that, Martin, let's hear a little live music, and tell us what you're going to play, and let's hear it, please. And anybody out there, before anybody out there have any questions or comments, you could use Zoom on the chat feature, or right here on Facebook. You could go ahead and write it in as well. We have a couple messages that I'll talk to Martin about after the next performance. So if you could go ahead and share.
Okay, as long as they're nice messages. I'm going to play something. I'm going to do a little looping, so I'm going to copy myself and record myself for you and just see what's happening here. Let's see, can you see? Okay, you can see me there. And the wet drum is the big guy right here. I don't want to lift him up with you. He's about that big. And the Tepohuano, the log drum here. Let me play each one real quick. Wet. Tepohuano. And then the turtle shells, traditionally struck with the antlers, deer antlers, not the tip, but the side. There's a lot more instruments we had back then, but I'm just going to play a little. And I'm not sure which one of these clay flutes I'm going to play, but I'll tell you the ones that I made. These little tiny flowers, these lapitzalis. This one I painted with natural pigment paint. I make all the paint. And let's just go ahead and do something. First of all, can you hear it okay?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Wait.
Right. Well, thank you so much. That was great.
You're welcome.
All right.
That was fun.
Well, we have a couple of comments here. One from Christina Magallanes Jones says, happy birthday. 65
Órale,
years
happy
old,
birthday.
Martin.
Thank you.
65 circuits around the sun today. All right.
That's right. Thank you.
Cynthia Santoy says, awesome. And she also says she's been there to Tepehuanes, Durango. And then we have Venadito Cuasedlo Sanchez says, thank you. And April May, great music. Thanks for sharing with us. So, and Lupe Ariola, one of our board members. Thank you, Lupe, for attending. Very informative. Muchas gracias. So let's hear one more. One more. Otra, por favor.
Okay.
If you're up to it. If you're up to it.
This next one's called Kukui. It's about me. Hang on. Sorry, wrong one. Give me a second.
No, go for it.
Not supposed to have problems.
Welcome to technology in 2020. Learning all this.
Ah. Gracias.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
From Lorena Alamillo, she says, true artist all around, from instrument making, writing, and creating. Thank you for sharing your talent, Martin. Jane Vargas reminds us that today is Martin's 65th birthday. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. And then Venadito, once more, I'm so happy seeing this, as we all are. And April, May, I can't wait until we get to see these amazing live performances again. Well,
yes.
Stick around to En Casa con la Plaza, brought to you today and every day that we're on by Walmart and AARP California, our kind sponsors. You could catch more of Martin's music at Martin Espino Music on Facebook, Martin Espino Music on YouTube, martinespino.com.
Eso.
You could catch all of En Casa con la Plaza, all of our sessions. This was our 22nd session. You can catch them all on our website, lapca.org, and also our Facebook at La Plaza LA, and our YouTube channel at La Plaza LA. Coming up, we got a lot more coming. Just this Friday, Dan Guerrero returns with his happy hour, so get your drinks, your cocktails ready. His special guest, La Marisol from La Santa Cecilia. So you're going to follow her journey from singing on Olvera Street as a child to standing ovations everywhere from the Hollywood Bowl to Disney Hall to the Kennedy Center and beyond. So that's this Friday at 7 o'clock on Zoom and Facebook Live. Next week, one of our great friends, Sandy Romero from Mamas, Tamales, and Tacos 2 will do a demonstration on green chile tamales, and I'm getting hungry there. We have a special event with the Mexican American Cultural Education Foundation. They'll be in conversation with our founder of La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, the Honorable Gloria Molina. That's next Tuesday at 5. And then a great conversation, just some information for all you entrepreneurs out there on street vending opportunities for entrepreneurs with the City of LA, Streets LA's team that will be giving you step-by-step on how to apply for these new business opportunities. And finally, next Friday, Wines of the Guadalupe Valley with Pedro de Poncelis and Gil Gutierrez. And you could buy your bottles of wine from them so you could sample them, and they'll tell you all about the beautiful wines of the Guadalupe Valley. Thank you all so much for attending today's En Casa con la Plaza. Thank you to Martin Espino. Feliz cumpleaños, hermano. Keep the music coming. I know you will. And thank you
That's
all
right.
out there in our community. Please be safe. Looking forward to the next time we see you online and at La Plaza. Soon, we hope. Hasta la próxima.